I pulled my car into my driveway at around 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night and switched off the ignition. I pulled the key out and rested my head on the steering wheel, finally releasing an exhale I had been carrying around all day. Work had kicked my ass, to put it lightly. I work at a local busy restaurant with a manager that hates me for whatever reason, and customers that treat me the way you would treat a bug that you find crawling across your arm. It sucks, and every day I find myself refraining from uppercutting the next person that chews my ear off about how they've waited 3 minutes for someone to finally serve them. Anyway, I opened the door to my car and heaved my legs out onto the pavement, stretching as I pulled myself up. I breathed in the cold air and shut the car door, drudging my way up to the porch, lighting a cigarette as I enjoyed the last moment of the day before heading back to bed to repeat the process all over again. As I'm standing on the porch, taking slow drags of my cigarette and scrolling through my phone to see all the people my age who are doing much better off, I hear quiet, sudden thumps that sound like someone banging a drum coming down the road. I lift my head from my phone and gander over my porch to see a man sprinting as fast as humanly possible down the pavement towards me. I take a step forward and watch as he approaches. His legs were moving so fast that in the dim lit street, his legs had become nothing but a blur. As he comes closer, I can see the expression on his face is one of absolute terror. He's panting and keeps looking behind him. This startles me, and I begin to get a little scared. As he nears my house, I attempt to make eye contact with him to gain confirmation if I should be as scared of whatever he's running from as he is. However, he's so focused on escaping this unknown fear, he runs straight past me, leaving a small trail of leaves floating up in his path. At this point, the fear is bubbling up inside me, and instead of figuring out what cruel joke God is playing on me now, I flick my cigarette to the ground and quickly enter my house, shutting and locking the door. Watching out the window for around 2 minutes, I don't see anything follow in his path. I chuckle to myself and wonder if he was just a late night jogger trying to get the runner's high or something. However, the expression on his face keeps replaying in my mind and creating all kind of stories in my head. Somehow, I put it behind me, shower, and hop into bed for the long day ahead of me tomorrow. Wednesday came and went just as slow as all the other days seemed to. I could run you through all the events, but nobody wants to hear hours of me complaining about my job. Just like last night, I finish work, pull my car into the driveway, ignition off, big sigh, exit car, and light a cigarette. Standing on the porch as I toke the cigarette, last night comes flooding back as if a sudden rush of deja vu. The thought is funny to me now, and I manage to smile to myself about how my paranoid mind works. Again, scrolling through my phone, looking at all the people I know having children, going on holidays, etc. I notice the streetlight in front of my house is sort of humming and flickering. It's weird, I thought. I've lived here for almost 4 years and I've never once noticed it doing that. I sort of lost myself by staring into the orange glow and thinking about the day, unaware of how much time had passed. I was prematurely pulled out of my trance when my eyes widened and I halted my breathing. Out in the distance, I could hear it again. Thump thump, thump thump. Surely not, I muttered, looking down the street once again to see the same man sprinting his absolute heart out. This is no coincidence, I thought, and I took the steps down off my porch to try and figure this thing out. Stupid thing to do, I know. I attempted to make my presence obvious to the man as he approached very fast down the street. I raised one arm in the air, gesturing him to stop. "Hey, buddy, are you okay?" But as he neared, he swerved into the side of the road and screamed at me to get inside, before returning to his rapid sprint. The way he screamed was utterly terrifying, and I glanced behind me watching him as he took off like a bat out of hell down the road away from me. This was truly baffling to me, and the fear I felt yesterday slowly began flooding back. I turned my head back around and focused on the direction he was running from. For whatever reason, I was adamant he was running from absolutely nothing. As I stared intently, I suddenly became very aware of the humming coming from the streetlight. Unless I was losing my mind, and the situation definitely vouched for that, it was getting louder and louder. I slowly glanced up at the dim glow. The moment was becoming very tense, and the flickering speeds up until the light suddenly cuts out and the noise stops. So here I am, standing in the middle of the street, in the middle of the night, all alone, with no light to give me the fake sense of safety. To this day, I can't explain what happened next, but as I stood frozen in fear of the light being taken away from me, and the moment that just passed, I began to hear whispers from the direction the man was running. Faint, but they were definitely there. I turned my head slightly to try and hear them better, which is when I realised they are saying my name and calling me to join them. This was the biggest nope of my entire life, but for some reason, I felt that any sudden reaction would be my instant demise. The whispers are so quiet, and after about 20 seconds of listening, my body allows me to gain some control back. I cautiously lift my foot, edge it towards my house, and bring it down at the same speed you would put a newborn baby in a crib. The crunch of the pavement beneath my foot was like an elephant's stomp, and the noise echoes across the whole street, which is when the whispers stop. I slowly look into the darkness, and dread washes over my entire body, because in the pitch black, if I focus as hard as I could, I can see them. All of them. All their disfigured bodies, open, drooling mouths, wide piercing eyes, and patchy skin that hung loosely to their bones. Before I could even comprehend what was in front of me, they began swaying towards me. And when I tell you that I have never moved quicker in my entire life, you better believe it. My feet smashing the floor with every stride I took to get away from these things, my erratic breathing forcing my lungs into overdrive, my eyes beginning to swell and tear up from the cold wind slapping me in the face. But worst of all, my mind telling me that if I stopped running, if these things ever caught me, no pain I have ever experienced in life could ever come close to what they would do to me. It was fear without explanation. It was primal. Whatever it was not of this world. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that narration of The Night Sprinter. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. And if you have any stories of your own, be that creepypastas, LetsNotMeets, just a strange event that happened to you, please send it my way, and if I like it, I'll make it into a video. I'll see you on the next one.